building an alliance.
Will you join us?
It's showtime.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
You're not here, you missing out, because this show...
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, listen up. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
It's time for the Alliance Guys podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Alliance Guys podcast, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. Sorry that we're running a little late tonight, but I'm glad you're here to join us as we talk about the spoilers from NWA 77, as well as we'll talk about NWA Power and whatever else comes up. But first, I'd like to introduce the professor, the man who was at the 77 himself. I'm talking about Mr. Rick Del Santo. Rick, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me yet again. I'm happy to be here today. Been looking forward to this all week.
Always. And the illustrious solar-powered love machine, Jaden, and Mr. DKM, the man behind Iconic Heroes of Wrestling Excellence. What is up, gentlemen?
I don't know what.
I don't know. You tell me.
I hear there was an exciting event this last weekend that Rick didn't invite us to.
He invited you to, but none of us could afford to get out there.
I never got an invitation.
It must have got lost in the mail.
Yeah, sure. That's the same lie I tell people.
Son of a bitch. So what's good, everyone? I'm sorry I'm a little discombobulated. I literally just ran in from parent-teacher night, back to school night.
I'll teach you to have kids.
Yeah, well, you know. You can't put them back in once they're here. You don't go back in. They're just here.
It costs 50 cents, Jay.
That's how. Well, never mind.
We're not talking about that. Anyways, Hey, Willie Bowen has our joke of the week. Hey, guys, Cyrus is so dumb. He says a vegan is a person who doesn't have sex.
He's not wrong.
You know, actually, he loves vegans because cows are technically vegans, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Got a point.
Shout out to Impact 88, Steve G. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Willie Bowen's in the chat. And all of you who are watching online who are remaining silent, still welcome to the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Again, what a busy week for the National Wrestling Alliance. Coming off of the 77th anniversary show. Now, Rick, you were there. Without getting to the spoilers, first and foremost, talk to us about attendance. Talk to us about the look and feel of that venue, and overall, what were your thoughts on the show?
I had a great time. I had a blast, like literally, and I don't remember the last time I had such a good time at a wrestling show, really. And I go to a lot of wrestling shows, so this exceeded my expectations for the National Wrestling Alliance, especially seeing that, went to 76 last year. It was okay. Yeah. Okay. It wasn't fantastic. And I've been enjoying the Crockett Cup clips that I've obviously seen on Power.
Yeah.
This place, I walked into the venue. It was an awesome venue. It was like a concert theater type thing, a club. There was, they put a ring up and chairs around the ring, and then there was balconies. I had balcony seating, and the balcony seating was not sold out, but the whole bottom level were, and the two side balconies were. The whole section hours, there's probably about maybe 50, 60 empty seats out of the entire building. So it was a really cool building, very nice. I looked at the lineup of other things they got coming there. They got some great concerts there. I wouldn't mind driving. It was a 2-hour drive. It was supposed to be a 2-hour drive for me, but since traffic, it was double that time. But there's a lot. It's a really cool venue. I wouldn't mind going out there again to see a show that I was interested in. But I guess they brought in, as reported, 970 people. They were expected about 1,000. So I think they were just shy by 30.
That's weird, since the place was reportedly only set up for 765 or something.
Well, I read online that it was 970.
Yeah, that was That was the number that
I think Mike Johnson put it out there.
well, Brian Idle put it out there.
Okay.
And that's the number that's being reported. And let me see. According to WrestleTix, up until the day before, the setup was for 745.
Got it.
So I don't know if they're WWEing us or AEW ing us, like, you know, the
By
ballpark.
inflating the tickets or whatever. Yeah, the tickets.
Yeah. You know, the ballpark there was set up for 18,000, and then somehow they had 27,000 that showed up on the on the day of the event. It was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
To play the devil's advocate, way more showed up at Woodstock than they were expecting.
Hippie.
Yeah, but they were also outside and played in the mud.
Yes, and they also showed up for free.
And there were a lot of pregnancies.
Wait, that was free?
No, it was not free. I had in my multiple collections, you know, I worked in a record shop for years. In our collection at the shop, we had ticket stubs from there. They were like $3 and $4 from Woodstock.
Yeah, but about a good chunk of them snuck in after.
Yeah, well, I think the fence came down, didn't it, or something like that? Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, there were probably more that didn't pay than did, honestly.
Yeah.
But so I'm glad you had a lot of fun. It looked like from your highlights. I mean, I saw Dr. Zirconium and Dog's various socials were sharing some of them. It looked like a really fun night, and it looks like I especially liked how excited you got when there was a new champion, a new NWA champion crown.
I did lose my shit.
New NWA champions.
Yeah, but there's one specifically that he absolutely busted a peanut on.
Wow. I did lose my during the because it was completely unexpected. I honestly did not expect Silas. Am I allowed to spoil it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, the title of the show is called Spoilers, so we're gonna just let it all fly. Wait, hold on. Everyone in the chat right now, if you do not want 77th anniversary show to be spoiled for you, now's the time to hit the X button. I won't hold it against you. I personally don't feel bad if you leave right now, but we will be talking about the extensive spoilers with Rick, who was there live. We are going to say everything, no censoring. We're going to spoil it all.
I personally will hold it against you if you're not a Don Jardine fan. If you're not a Jeff Gaylord fan, I'd understand that. But definitely, if you're not a Don Jardine fan, I'd hold it against you.
Great reference there.
Thank you. I did post in the chat that we would be doing spoilers before Jay, stumbled in from his drunken binge.
By the way, we're also on the TikTok right now. So
excellent. Hello, TikTok. Go like all of us on TikTok.
So the Chinese spies are getting all our information right now? Cool.
You have a problem with the Chinese spies? Stop living in America. I don't know. What am I supposed to say to that, guys?
I don't know. I wasn't listening to you, so it doesn't matter.
What else is new? What else is new? Shout out to Noob and Finn does WWE. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging out. We are going to talk extensively about the spoilers for the NWA 77th anniversary show. And right before I interrupted, Mr. Rick Del Santo was about to tell us how he felt seeing the Thrillbilly Silas Mason win the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Rick?
Quick question for Rick.
Yes, sir.
Is that your first NWA World title change?
No. I was in person. Sorry, guys. I was there for 76 and watched Tom beat EC3. I'm trying to think if there was any others over the years. Yeah, I don't think so. I've seen other NWA title defenses. That might have been 76. Might have been my first title change actually over the years.
I saw I saw a controversial one in Clayton, New Jersey.
Yes.
Was it a Tommy Fierro run show?
No.
No?
It was a dog run show.
Oh,
It was a dog run event, first of all.
Okay.
And it was very
event.
controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, controversy.
Controversy.
I heard that creates cash.
It created a lot of animosity, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Created a lot of lies.
Yes.
A lot of people, of three people, they all kind of blamed the others. None of them wanted to take responsibility.
Well, sorry to anyone in the chat who wasn't expecting to get the spoilers, but no, that they're here.
Well, you should have read the chat if you weren't expecting to get it.
Yeah. Out of that, like, I thought that match was, especially seeing the conversation we had Thursday, the prior Thursday, that it didn't seem like that they were going in that direction, and then it just kind of came out of nowhere, in my opinion, that at that very moment when he hit 3, and I was like really surprised. And I very rarely lose my crap at a show. So
how'd the rest of the crowd react?
It went nuts. They went nuts. The crowd, for the most part, was on fire from beginning to never mind the dark matches. I actually ended up getting the results for the dark matches. They were posted elsewhere later, and I couldn't hear the announcing for the dark matches that were happening. But at the time, they were sort of muffled, so I couldn't hear it. But since like the entirety of the show, the crowd was on fire for the most part. There's very few lulls throughout the entire evening. A couple kind of, one of those ridiculous gauntlet type matches, which Billy seems to love, the multi-person matches where it just seemed like it went on too long and people just started to lose interest,
Yeah, and Shawn Mega said was the match exciting.
It was a very good match. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's a question I had too, just because, we've heard a lot about what's going to happen. We're expecting, let me rephrase that. I don't know what any of us were really expecting at 77. I couldn't tell you for sure what was going to happen. And like you said, Rick, we were discussing last week where it just didn't even seem like it was a viable option. Like,
right.
No way is Silas Mason going to win the title. They did nothing to build it up, but that's absolutely what happened. And the fact that happened, to me, signifies that the NWA, number one, might be listening, right? They actually, somebody is telling Billy, like, hey, we got to pull the trigger on this Thrillbilly guy before he disappears or we waste his talent. He wastes his momentum. And number two, when it comes to these live events, it's hard to gauge how the fans are going to react because, it's not like Powers on NBC or CBS or Fox or a major network or Current. And like, to me, if that was a walk-up crowd, that's what I've heard. A lot of it was a walk-up crowd.
Yeah.
Then holy shit, were those fans educated on what the NWA was, and is going to be?
I have comments about that statement right there that you just said.
Let's hear it.
I ran into Bob Smith, former head editor and writer for Pro Wrestling Illustrated and WCW Magazine, now host of the Outdated Wrestling Hour. I ran into him out front before the show, and I spoke to him and Joe Puccio, who, they do the podcast together. And then I was speaking to him the next morning via text message, and he was talking about a bunch of people he met at the show had no idea what the NWA was. They saw that there was a wrestling show there in that building, and they just decided to go. That kind of surprised me. Maybe it's the area. Maybe the NWA is not, they're not very familiar with that area, or the area is not very familiar with the NWA. But I did meet several fans there that were very familiar with the NWA that I met, hung around with, and spoke with.
You said spoke with. I thought you said smoked with. I'm like,
No,
wow,
no. I've done that for 20 years, you know. So
that's like a whole different kind of pre-party.
No, that's a different podcast. No, I don't do that. But anyways, so yeah, so I just thought Bob's statement was kind of interesting that, you know, a lot of people that, like he stated, a lot of people really didn't know what the NWA was, didn't really hear it about it. I mean, you could sort of see it a little bit in the crowd, a little bit. You know, some people just with their Yeet shirts on and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And some people, I know a couple people that follow me on Instagram, kind of really aren't completely into the NWA. They kind of know what it is, but they just decided to go because they lived sort of local. You know what I'm saying? And but they decided that because they went, that they actually really enjoyed themselves, and they will definitely check out more of the NWA.
I mean, that is the epitome of like the winning the fans over.
Right.
And I think that's pretty cool. Like, and I'll say this, and Jaden, you can vouch for me, or you can tell me I'm a moron. But when we went to Crockett Cup, I felt it was a similar experience in that there were a good chunk of people who knew exactly what was happening in the NWA, and then there were some people who were just happy to be at a wrestling show. And, you know, they popped like crazy for Natty Neidhart. They popped for Rhino. I don't really feel like they popped for the Colognes, but they popped for Hammerstone. And I think the rest of it was just, hey, man, we're just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. There were a lot of people, like there was some ECW people.
Mm-hmm.
They were there just because it's at the arena, and Rhino was going to be there. But I think it was, while there were some NWA fans, a lot of people were just going because of Natty Neidhart or Rhino, in my opinion, that was there that night. But overall, the event was pretty good. I think it might have made some NWA fans. So hopefully, again, the situation is the same in Long Island, and maybe there's some new NWA fans that are going to watch. And it's a shame you didn't have little things to hand out to tell them to check out the Alliance Guys podcast, because maybe we could have made new fans there.
I did definitely speak with people. Sorry, Jay. I definitely did speak with people and guided them towards their phones and on their YouTube app on their phones, and they definitely did subscribe. So, you know, just by that. So I got them to subscribe to both my channel and the Alliance Blogs YouTube as well. So don't worry, I'm no dummy. I should, you know, next time I'm going to start bringing flyers to hand out at some shows, though.
We lost DK. He just fell off
Internet
the
connection.
No, I don't know. Maybe. Here he is. Did we say something offensive?
No, my browser closed.
Wild.
I have no idea why.
So
I didn't even have my hand on my mouse. But going with what Rick was saying, we were talking about, you know, Jay, when you were in Texas with me for another Crockett Cup, it was very much the same. Most of the people were not NWA fans. They were wrestling fans, and there was, you know, I was probably one of the furthest Texans, you know, that had gone. I think a lot of them were just kind of people from that area.
there was a guy that sat next to us at the Crockett Cup in 24, and the gentleman had told you and I, like, he lived in Florida. He just happened to be in Texas visiting family or something. And he's like, I normally go to NXT shows, but I heard there was wrestling here, so I'm here. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's great. So it's kind of a weird dynamic, because one of the luxuries that the NWA has had over the past, 5 years is the fact that because it is a smaller company, but with a historical background, people want to see the NWA succeed. People are clamoring for the National Wrestling Alliance to succeed. And, it's not just us four guys right here. I mean, there are people out there who are literally traveling across the country to be at a live NWA event. And I mean, Fiona from Scotland literally flew in to be at a couple of the Crockett Cups, flew in to be at a couple of the NWA taping events. And, I've flown across the country to be at these events. Tim drove all the way from Canada to be at some of the NWA events. So it's not it's not crazy to think that the NWA has benefited from like a tourism style of wrestling fan, but they can't count on that forever. And the fact that they're able, like we said, at Crockett Cup and now at 77, that there have been fans coming to the NWA, you know, hopefully they're converting some of these fans and getting more people back, you know, to supporting the NWA product.
You know, it's interesting. You said that there was a strong walk-up crowd, and there needed to be.
Yeah,
because their tickets were not selling very well. Even the day before, WrestleTix basically said there were 200 tickets still out. And that was on the 700 person setup. And that's distributors. You don't even know what's sold and what's not sold. And so, they needed a strong walk-up. It's good that they were there. It was good. It was a good crowd. It was good. It was a good show. But I think they might have learned a small lesson. You got to be careful. And, if you're not in Dothan, Alabama, which probably doesn't get a lot of wrestling in general, you got to give people a reason to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true. There wasn't, well, Hammerstone's great, and there's some people in the NWA that have some name value. It really didn't have, there was nothing on that card that made me want to say, you know what, somebody come pick me up, I want to go. So the results were more so important. It got me interested than the actual card itself, in my opinion.
Yeah, if it was further away than what it was, well, probably with the traffic, it was probably the distance I didn't really want to drive. It's supposed to, mind you, I'm just going to say this, it's supposed to be a 2-hour drive in 3 minutes. It took me almost 4 hours to get there because I hit traffic. Once I hit Stamford, Connecticut, there was some traffic elsewhere, but once I hit Stamford, it was like dead stop every time I hit Stamford. Then in New York, and I'm just like, dude, I was dying. I had my 10-year-old son with me. He was just like, he wanted to get out of the car, and as did I. But I'm just like, once we got there, I got to tell you, we got off the highway to get to we got into the town. I'm going to tell you, this was probably the nicest town I've ever seen a wrestling show, that like a somewhat major event in, because there was not like a city type atmosphere. It was just driving through woodsy neighborhood type stuff. There was like some shopping centers, and then we just hit like this, there's like a deli convenience store on the left. We take the left to the road, and then boom, there's like a downtown area, which I'm presuming was like kind of like a college area based on when we left the venue, the types of folks that we were witnessing. But it was an awesome type area, and I would go back there anytime to see them, provided I would actually take me 2 hours to get there. But I tell you, like it was an awesome looking little city, So it's I think that they made a really good decision on going there for that reason.
Which sounds crazy,
mm-hmm.
but also not, because it's like what I mean, not to toot my own horn here, but I keep saying they need to go to the roads less traveled. They don't need to go to the same venues that the WWE or AEW are trying to promote. They should be going to those grassroots areas that aren't getting a lot of pro wrestling. The WWE's cut back their touring schedule. AEW still doesn't do a whole lot of touring. These are opportunities, not consequences. The
AEW. I'm sorry, Jade. AEW do 2 live shows a week, sometimes 3 when there's a pay-per-view. Right? Say that.
Yeah.
And WWE does. They pretty much, for the most part, cut out house shows. Is that correct? Did they completely cut them out? I know they were talking about reducing them heavily. I don't know if they actually completely cut them out or not. But it's like, you need to go to those local small town areas. Go to like a high school gym if you can get that. Get in with the high school, the fundraiser, some sort of community center, a PAL center. Dude, it's like, I think it's really just something that could really happen and bring people into that company and and fans for complete enjoyment.
Yeah. real quick, before we get to too much more of the spoilers, I do want to acknowledge Japanese Music Man said Salwin 3 is coming to Atlanta in October. And just real quick, I was looking at the live dates here for the NWA because we've got shows happening this weekend and we've got TV tapings coming up. First and foremost, this weekend in Chicago on Saturday night, it's the Summer Sizzler. Mario Pardua is set to defend the title. The Crush, Markova will be there. CBD, Carson Bartholomew Drake. The TV champion, Brian Idol. Daisy Kill, Steve Boz. Marche, Rocket, Charlie Kleinman, all on that card. Also then down in Forney, the aforementioned Innovation Boulevard, Texas Style of Wrestling presents Tough. And what's interesting about that is the Tonga twins will be down there in Texas, as well as Markova, Brian Idol, Tiffany Nieves, and the Texas champion, whose name I can't remember right now. Then for September 5th, that will be the next TV tapings that the NWA will have in Tampa, Florida. Of course, the regular parties are set to be there. And then the aforementioned Salwin 3 on October the 17th, which is crazy to me that they're filming Salwin, a Halloween-themed pay-per-view, in October when we know damn well that won't be airing until January. So I think it's a little silly that they're filming stuff such far in advance when it's not even going to line up with the season.
Right.
If I was scheduling the NWA, I think we'd have done Salwin, probably before the 77th anniversary show, just so it matches up with the season.
You don't do much on YouTube other than highlight clips and Exodus Pro, really.
Well, and then the thing about it, and we're just fantasy talking right now because none of us have the authority to say it, but look, with Roku Sports, now there's two outlets for them. Roku, there's two outlets, Roku Sports and Wrestling Central. Mm-hmm. And I have to believe that Billy could somehow, some way convince Wrestling Central to let him have 3 hours for a live program.
Absolutely.
And if not, Roku Sports on a Friday night. What are we missing out on a Friday night on Roku Sports?
Anybody? Bueller?
SmackDown. I mean, people watching SmackDown. You don't want to. I wouldn't put it up against something such a. Large property like WWE.
Well, yeah,
I guess,
I guess the reason why I suggested Friday as opposed to any other night of the week is I guess Friday or Saturdays. Apparently, they have MLB games on Roku Sports.
Oh, really?
So that would be a conflict unless they could get it earlier in the day, or maybe even Sunday. Sunday, it doesn't matter.
I do nothing on Sundays. So, Sunday would be a perfect day. It would be a great day to put on a live wrestling show on TV. I usually sit and watch some sort of live wrestling event on a Sunday for, if it's available.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's get to the spoilers then without any further ado, because we ran down the live events for NWA. You're welcome, NWA live event crew. So these are the results as given to us by the man right here, Mr. Rick Del Santo. And the show started off for Rick with the World Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line, Alex Taylor versus Rich Swann. Tell us what you remember about that.
Dude, this match was great. Literally great. I'm not the world's biggest Alex Taylor fan, but he was able to keep up with Rich Swann. They put on a phenomenal match. The crowd were eating it up. The crowd was on fire the whole time. And I think that having such an opening match like that, for the TV taping portion of the show, I didn't know Alex Taylor could do it, to be honest with you. but he put on a phenomenal match, and this was, of course, he retained the title, and it was a very, very good match, and I can't wait to watch the actual taped version on Power when it gets there.
Now, were you anticipating a title change, or did you feel like Taylor was going to win?
We had many conversations about that over the last few weeks, and my opinion, it was time for him to lose the title. Was he going to lose it to Rich Swann? I don't know. I was kind of in the back of my head, kind of like, man, I would really like it to happen, but I don't think it will. And of course, it didn't happen. I wasn't 100% sold on the fact because he still does work with TNA, Rick Swan.
Yeah. And it says, like, I was just looking up real quick, and I think he's a freelancer. I don't think he's under contract.
Oh, is he a freelancer?
TNA
Okay.
Wrestling. Like, he's working there, but I don't think he's under an official contract.
Well, he was at the pay-per-view the night before, the TNA pay-per-view.
All right.
And so when I saw that, I think he even won. I don't remember exactly, but I was kind of like, he's probably not going to win then. Because I'm sure if you freelancer or not, I'm sure you're still going to be more committed to the bigger team,
Right.
And bigger payday, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And so it's a shame, though. I would love to have had him as champion since he was a former TNA world champion.
Yeah.
But the important thing with what you're talking about here is that this is how you create your stars.
Yep.
Is that if you bring in Rick Swan, former TNA world champion, world heavyweight champion, whatever they call their world title, even if he weighs $150, you put him in the ring with somebody who's been in the big leagues, been a top guy in this other promotion here. And I don't remember. Did Swan ever hold the WWE Cruiserweight title? Was he?
Yes.
He did briefly, yeah. Briefly. I think he
Okay.
held it for 60 some odd days or something like that.
I'm actually looking at his title lineage right now. He's a former CZW World Champion, an Impact Digital Media Champion, Impact World Champion, Impact X Division Champion, WWE Cruiserweight Champion. He actually has held an NWA title in the past. Back in 2014, he was the NWA Florida Underground Wrestling Flash Champion. So, man is very decorated, has held a lot of titles. And, I kind of agree with what you just said, DK, that I didn't feel like he was going to win the title, but he would definitely be a guy I wouldn't mind having a short run with the title to help add a little legitimacy to it. But the fact that he did the favor for Taylor makes Taylor look that much stronger as a champion. Taylor hasn't had a lot of signature victories as champion. I mean, he's beat Jack Cartwheel like 3 or 4 times. And then who?
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, was it a clean victory?
That I can't remember at this point, honestly, because it's been a few days. So, if I remember correctly, damn.
It obviously was more than not in the sense that someone didn't whack him in the head with a chair or whatever.
I don't believe, nothing like that.
You probably remember that.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it could have been a nut shot for all I remember. And, it's been a few days and it was a long day of travel. So I don't remember every detail. But
you see, I can even accept a nut shot or cheating or, whatever.
Yeah.
As a win, it's just as long as Kerry Morton wasn't down there and hitting him with a chair or tripping him or whatever. It just adds credibility to Taylor.
By the way, did you guys know that Alex Taylor and Silas Mason did a tour of England back in February of this year?
Oh, interesting.
No.
Yeah, you do. Sean Mega says it could have put the title on Impact. I didn't see them do that with Matt Cardona when he was world champion, and Cardona was a fringe wrestler for TNA Wrestling, kind of showing up whenever he wanted to. And ridiculously so, as NWA World Champion, he was feverishly trying to become the digital media champion when he was in TNA Wrestling. And I don't need another copy of that. I don't need that to happen again.
He was wrestling, what's her name? That's in NXT for the digital media title.
Right.
Because I remember complaining about that most vehemently that, here's the world champion in another promotion, doesn't even have the title, and he's wrestling a woman for their lowest level championship.
The intergender wrestling, I tell you.
So it was.
Don't get me started on that.
So okay, so here's a natural question.
Okay.
Taylor's been champion for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's got his biggest win. It's kind of not been a junior heavyweight champion defending for a while. He also holds half the U.S. title. So what do we do with him? U.S. tag team title. So what do we do with him now? What do we do with the junior heavyweight championship? I mean, I do find it very interesting that now the Southern Six have 2 world champions in the group.
There's 4 champions total. There's 4 championship titles in the group total. But yeah,
3 technically.
3.
The belts
3.
are 4. The titles are 3.
Sorry, corrections and retractions. So Alex Taylor, having held that title for 420 days, you're right. This is his biggest signature win to date. We know that they do crown a number 1 contender. We'll talk about that momentarily for the junior heavyweight title. They crowned a number 1 contender for the tag titles as well. We'll talk about all that in just a few minutes. But I think at this point in time, either Taylor needs to continue his path as junior heavyweight champion and they lose the tag titles, or he loses that junior heavyweight title and focuses on the tag championships.
I mean, really, the United States tag titles are part of the territories now, right? Correct?
Essentially.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. They very rarely show up on the main roster, I guess you could say.
Correct.
Theoretically, that's what they've told us.
Yes.
But since they've told us that, the only title changes have taken place on Power, and all the champions have been Power-based wrestlers. So, we haven't seen like the Stu Crew or somebody like that win them.
Right.
And so it's like, and honestly, I don't know if the Southern Six is out in the territories defending or not. The Country Gentlemen did, but I haven't heard much about what.
Yeah, but that was their father's promotion that they were wrestling in.
Well, they wrestled in some of the others with the U.S. With the U.S. tag team title, but yeah, I mean, they say it, to me it seems more like a forgotten championship than anything.
Right. Yeah, which is a shame considering the lineage of the United States tag titles in the NWA over the decades, I mean, it's just, to me, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I was just right now trying to look up the U.S. tag titles since they changed hands. And they changed hands back in Dothan, Alabama, and yet have not been defended since the titles changed hands. At least not as reported to Cage Match. So
doesn't most wrestling companies have a 30-day whatever they call it contract?
Not the NWA.
I mean,
most of them don't anymore.
Well, I'm sorry, DK.
Most of them don't anymore.
Well,
even WWE has got. They used to say it whether the title was, in Texas. Yes, there was a 30-day thing, but the title might go 3 months without being defended.
Right.
It was always used to their convenience. But like even in WWE now, they openly make title defenses more like the MMA or boxing world, where it's kind of a big deal when they defend the title. And, it's a special event to see it.
So, Jaden, what are your thoughts on Alex Taylor retaining the title? Do you think that was a good move?
I'm not as disappointed in him as the rest of you guys are. So it's fine by me. I don't think he was the greatest wrestler in the Southern Six. I mean, that's obviously throwbelly, but he was more than competent to me. What I don't like is it wasn't being defended. If you're double champion, you should have to defend it twice.
Yeah.
And if you show up at a wrestling event with a belt on, you should have to defend it too.
What if it's just casually placed in a backpack or a Home Depot shopping bag? I mean,
you're not wearing it and putting it over your shoulder or wearing it around the thing, so that's fine. You don't expect people to defend the titles in the airport when it's in their bag. So that's fine. But if they're going to wear it, they have to defend it. And if they lose it, the person takes it home with them.
I think of all the titles I've ever worn, I think I've worn the World Six-Man one time, and I think I wore the TV title one time, and that was it. But not out in public.
Maybe you should.
You just want to see me get punched in the nose.
So wear it to the grocery store.
The problem is we'll have to get you like an old version of the NXT title or the...
No, you got to get me the Winged Eagle. I need a very much a replica of the Winged Eagle, and I'll wear it with my KO shirt. And people, are you?
I think personally, he was making a Page joke.
Oh God!
Bring it to the bedroom, you know.
Oh,
DK, is that what you were doing?
You know, you both are right in different ways. Well, it was a double entendre.
All right. Well, there's one thing I love is double entendres. The other match, the dark matches that I missed earlier. Danger Ross defeated Soda Pop Hendricks. Did you see this one?
Yeah, I did see these. I just couldn't hear the announcing was muffled and I couldn't make out the names. It was all right, you know, nothing crazy.
Soda Pop is a standout from the Texas territory. He's trained underneath Jazz and Rodney, so
Gotcha.
I imagine he's got some. I know when I saw him in Forney, Texas, he wasn't used as a real big role, and he did a lot of floor. What's
like
the
mat-based wrestling? Like,
No. I mean, literally, like he was telling people where to sit, like floor directing.
Oh,
he had a match, but he was also doing a lot of floor directing, and I think he's one of these guys that is very multifaceted. I know he designs gear for wrestlers. He works hard at wrestling. He's at all the DC Dog Pound Championship Wrestling shows. He's at all the NWA Texas events, and but I think he also has multiple roles within the NWA, like helping produce the show and set up the floor design, all that stuff.
And
so,
apparently he's an Usher impersonator.
He's a really nice guy, but he's also a little bit on the small side.
yeah. There was a bunch of people from Texas in this, and you'll see them in the junior heavyweight #1 contender gauntlet as well. There was a bunch of people brought in. I think that's the
he was
match.
also a military guy and kind of reminds me of Danny Limelight because of that.
Wait a minute, what are Texans doing in junior heavyweights? I thought everything was bigger in Texas.
I think they're talking about something else, but
Oh my God.
it's an episode filled with innuendos.
Double entendres.
Double entendres, yeah.
Yes.
What about Windows?
I haven't liked one since Windows 7.
Say something positive about Alex Misery because he just jumped in on the TikTok.
Hello,
Alex Misery, when are you and Crazy Steve wrestling again? Because I like that tag team. I was watching the Crockett Cup, and I like that tag team. I think you guys should be regular tag teams and take the U.S. tag belts maybe away from Southern Six. Then maybe if you pin Alex Taylor, maybe you'll get a shot at the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Then you could be a champ, and then you could tell about how you want to defend it twice because you're that kind of wrestler and you want to get yourself over. I also hear you're going to be a guest on J. Cal's show next Tuesday. Is that true, J. Cal?
It is true. Alex Misery just popped in the building. He was on TikTok. He's on YouTube. He is everywhere we want to be. And next Tuesday, Mr. Alex Misery will join me for a live stream right here on both of these platforms. So
when you talk to him, ask him about his opinion on former NWA North American champion El Gran Leon Apollo.
I'm sure he has a lot to say. Somebody needs to take their medicine.
Yeah.
I hate that song. It used to be my alarm song. It made me really angry every morning.
It apparently has lyrics too. All right. So then the next match that we should talk about is Donnie Dixon taking on the Rockstar. Donnie Dixon gets the victory. I'm not familiar with either one of these guys. Apparently the Rockstar is a standout from Maryland. Donnie Dixon, I'm not too familiar with. I guess he's from Huntington, New York. So and was trained by Brian Adel and Joe Casio. So then it kind of all makes sense.
And he played Ellie Mae Clinton on the Beverly Hillbillies.
All right.
That was Donna Dixon. Never mind.
Donna Dixon. What about that? Have you ever had that famous cider?
I've never been in cider.
You've never been into cider?
No.
More of a...
Okay, well, I'm
You're
going to
talking
take my
about Dixon
drugs
cider, right?
while you guys
Let's go to the
drag
next
this
match.
into the, MA ratings.
You're talking about Dixon cider, right?
Some of the best. All right. Getting back to the 77. So where did I lost my window?
It is the NWA World Tag Team #1 contenders 4-way elimination should be next.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. So okay, in that 4-way, you had the Colognes, who we saw at the Crockett Cup, Blunt Force Trauma, no surprise there. The Nightmare Sin, which is Frank and Zion. We all saw those guys make their debut at Crockett Cup. And the Slime Balls, Sage Chance and Tommy Rant. And, conspicuous by their absence, I don't see the Lost in here at all. But I guess they appear later in the night. But this was a #1 contenders 4-way match. The Colognes ended up getting the victory in this one, which is no surprise. They had a solid outing at the Crockett Cup, and they had a lot of momentum coming into the Crockett Cup. So my question for you, Rick, is what did you think of this match, and tell us a little bit about it?
Not really into the whole 4-way eliminations things because, like I said, Billy overdoes it with that stuff, with a lot of that
Sure.
gimmicky matches and stuff like that. And it's like we can't just have an exhibition match or one-on-one style matches, but this was pretty entertaining. It came down to the Colognes and the Slime Balls at the end.
Wow.
In my opinion, well, I mean, the Slime Balls have been on fire lately. We've been talking about it. So, I watching it live, I was my opinion, I said that this is it. This is going to be the moment for the Slime Balls. They're going to get that, and it didn't happen. So that was the one time out of the evening, I guess I could say that I was slightly disappointed in my predictions, that I thought that I was wrong. It was a fun match to watch for the most part. They're not really doing anything with BFT currently. Frank and Zion are just kind of there. They're not really getting the gigantic push. So I guess it kind of made sense for the Colognes and the Slime Balls to be in there together towards the end. But Huntington, New York was completely into the Slime Balls. That's the other thing. The crowd did not die down as of yet.
I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe Sage Chance might be from New York. Yeah, he is.
Okay.
And I don't know if
I've still lost all my respect.
What'd you say?
I've still lost all my respect for Huntington if they were into the Slime Balls.
Yeah, both Tommy Rant and Sage Chance are from New York, okay. So that kind of maybe explains why the crowd reacted so well to him. I actually have a buddy on TikTok named Ringside Riley, who is a younger guy, not real familiar with the NWA, but absolutely knows who the Slime Balls are, and was a big fan. So it doesn't surprise me that the New Yorkers kind of stick together on that one. But cool. Did you think the matchup was good though? You, despite it being a 4-way, was it good for a 4-way?
It was pretty fun, pretty action packed for the most part. For it being a 4-way, it was an enjoyable match.
Can I give my opinion on this, or may I?
Absolutely. Of course.
I know I can because I'm more than capable to give my opinion.
You're going to regardless.
So may. Yeah, it's true. But I think this was a bad mistake by the NWA.
Okay.
First of all, if you're going to team Frank with somebody, you should team up with a Jewish guy like Mr. Stein and be Frankenstein. Number two, this is a complete example of when I say that the NWA is nose blind to what the fans of the NWA want. I'm not, I kind of got started liking the Slime Balls a little bit at the Crockett Cup. And I know Reddit loves the Slime Balls. They're huge on Reddit, and they're, in other places like that. But they started to get momentum. They started to become something. base of the Crockett Cup, and this could have been something to move them to that level. They didn't need to win the World Tag Team titles. In fact, what they should have done is made it for the U.S. number one contenders for the U.S. tag titles, and then have the Slime Balls win it so they could win the U.S. tag belts and defend them in their territories. But they needed to win this. It was right. The NWA doesn't know how to capture momentum. They don't know how to really engage with the fans, even when they have Natalya and Rhino and stuff, and they still haven't showed them yet. And yeah, maybe there is reasons with the WWE for Natalya, but there's other ways around it. I know, but they haven't done anything to capitalize on Natalya yet, and they barely did anything to capitalize on Rhino other than some vignettes. And it's what the NWA is good for. They don't know how to take something that's a gift horse and look it straight in the mouth or whatever. They didn't have the Slime Balls win, and this was their chance. They could have made something out of the Slime Balls. I'm going to spoil this, people. The Colognes already lost to the Crockett Cup champs, who are the new World Tag Team champions. So there's no reason to have this match. It wasn't like the Colognes beat the former champs in the tournament and then still lost. Whatever, they had a reason to get a title match. It's just another rehash of a match that's already happened and doesn't need to happen again. At least not right now. Maybe if there's some build up, it could, but right now it doesn't need to happen. Slime Balls are hot. They need to capitalize on it. There's so many things out there that they could have capitalized on. Matt Cardona's from Long Island. They could have had him there. Fans went nuts for it. They could have had Tommy Invincible, even though apparently he gets mad if a wrestler calls him out on a promo and gets upset and doesn't want to wrestle him anymore. Or where is Ben Bishop? Or why aren't they not even capitalizing on the guy from OVW who does the stuff? They need to find ways to get their name out there and to get people paying attention to them and grab onto something. There's a guy who does the WWE developmental, or was it WWID is from that area. Why wasn't he there? Tommy Dreamer's from New York. Why wasn't, he could have been something. They need something to grab on, and that could have been a shot. They did nothing else, but at least that they were there, and they could have had an opportunity to grab a hold of something to make the fans engage and care, and they did. They put it right back on the Colognes. I got nothing against them. They had a shot at that tag team. That tag team already beat them, and now they're going to, beat them again. Yay!
I have a slight disagreement with Jaden on this one.
Ooh.
Okay.
Controversy.
Not major. I understand what Jaden's saying. To me, the Slime Balls are the Mulkeys.
Come on.
No, but that's what they are to me.
I was a much bigger Mulkeys fan, but go ahead.
And look, the Mulkeys had periods of being very over. And, they gave them that upset victory and put them in the Crockett Cup. But when they got into the Crockett Cup, they lost in the first round. And they had another thing that happened with the Midnight Express, where basically in the Mulkeys' hometown, they had sold out standing room only.
They had more people at the venue than lived in the town. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
There were more people to see the Mulkeys get a U.S. Tag Team title shot, which is, again, why I think it should have been a U.S. Tag Team title match, than were actually living in that town.
I do agree with that. If this had been the U.S. Tag Team champion for the U.S. Tag Team Championship, number one contenders, I would be much more open into this idea of the Slime Balls. But for the world title, they've already had 2 world title matches. Come on. And so, but even with the Mulkeys, they had the thing, they sold out, they more than sold out. The Midnight Express had their car literally there and by the door and running, because guess what? They won. They ran out the back, got in the car, and left immediately. So,
cars chased them, shooting, by the way.
Yes. trying not to be killed. And yeah, that the Slime Balls don't need another world title shot. I see what Jaden's saying. Now that you've made the Clones the number one contenders, well, start giving me some build-up. Start giving me some promos between the teams. Start calling each other out. Start having shoving matches or confrontations or,
fights in the parking lot. Fights in a Walmart.
Something, give me something so that now I really want to see these two. I didn't see the Crockett Cup. I don't know how their match was. So far, most of the matches I've watched on POWERRR have been, good. It's been a very solid 4 episodes. Whoever thought I'd say that? I mean, let's not get carried away. I don't know that anything was can't miss, but certainly solid. Certainly something that if you enjoy wrestling, you should sit down and watch. But now, so if that match was good, great. Now you got a foundation. But Jim Ross said, "Give me a good guy out of this group. Give me a bad guy out of this group. Give me a reason to be wrestling." They both want the world title, the world tag team title. And then I'm going to add this line: make it interesting. Make it interesting for me to, really want to see these. I think there's a better chance to build up Colognes versus Immortals for the world tag team title than there would be Immortals versus Slime Balls.
Well,
you could get to the point where you could believe the Colognes could or should win the title.
Well, I mean, they did that for you. The Colognes won the number one contendership, and then we know the Immortals win the tag titles later. We'll talk about that momentarily. Between the two teams, there has been some an ongoing feud going all the way back to October of last year. The Immortals beat Epico and Primo by disqualification at the Tampa studios. Then they faced off again back in Tampa, where the Immortals defeated the Colognes cleanly. Then back at Hard Times, the Colognes won that 4-way elimination match for the number 2 seed in the Crockett Cup, defeating Blunt Force Trauma, Daisy Kiltalos, and the Immortals. So they have shared a lot of ring time together, and then the Immortals got the deuce over the Colognes at the Crockett Cup. So all of this is building up to a storyline between the two tag teams. So to your point, DK, this is the story that makes the most sense. So that's what they did. So they heard you. They're listening.
Yeah, they're gonna have to remind me of all that. That's
100%.
Because I've forgotten it all. So
100%. And I'm not saying like, oh, rest on your laurels. You did what you needed to. No, they still need to make it interesting. But they gave you the most compelling matchup that you even said was the most compelling matchup. So at least going forward, that's the matchup we're going to see. With that being said, going back to the 77, then we get to the NWA World Television title match between Brian Idol and Joe Ocasio. Now, Joe Ocasio, we know, is a New York native. Him and Brian Idol go back a long ways from the FTW when it was in New York. And this TV title match, I think this is the second defense that Idol has had as champion. He retains the title, but how was the match? How did it look? Enlighten us, Professor.
Sorry, muted myself. I crap on Idol a lot, but I have to say his performance here was really, for the most part, pretty damn good. I don't know if it's because he was in the ring with Joe Ocasio, who I'm really enjoying, and I've only been watching him a short period, but I thought this match was pretty good. I think there might have been. I think that Idol looked a little bit more smooth than he normally does from my angle. And, went to deliver a moonsault where he's probably the only kind of minor trip up that he might have had when he was going over Ocasio. But I thought this was for the most part, for a fun match. Crowd was into it. Crowd had not was still very much into the show. 3 matches in, I think that they were really into. You said I didn't know Idol was. What did you say? Or Ocasio was a New York native.
Yeah.
So maybe they were that had a reason why they were still into it. But this was a this was a pretty fun match.
Ocasio is from East Meadow, New York. I don't know geography for New York.
I'm not sure where that is. Yeah.
But I know that he's very much been a part of what Brian Idol has done in the past with FTW, and the whole CEP is kind of like a spinoff of FTW. So that doesn't surprise me at all. But getting back to the 77, DK, Jaden, what were your thoughts on knowing that Brian Idol retained against Joe Ocasio?
Not surprised. I mean, I don't want Idol to win 7, but if this is his first or second title match, he should win 2. He should win 3 or 4. I'll say that before dropping the title.
Our pal Jaden dropped off, but I will say this. There he is. We do know that. I just looked it up, and apparently Brian Idol has defended the title a total of 3 times, but probably the NWA will only recognize 2 of them because he defeated Daisy Kill at the Tampa TV tapings, and then another non-televised and title defense was for a promotion called VPW in Augusta, Georgia, where he defeated Suku King. So, Jaden, what are your thoughts on Idol retaining the TV title?
I don't mind other champions defending in the territories. I do think the NWA should acknowledge that. If it's not on TV, it shouldn't be a TV title match. So that's my opinion. Yeah. And the dogs also agree, apparently.
Apparently.
You know what? I'm glad. The Ocasio and Daisy Kill are good wins for Brian Idol to build him up. They're at a little bit of level where they're going to beat wins, mean something to beat. But they're not like the biggest stars of the company. But if he starts working his way up that, and then eventually either gets all 7. Excuse me, I had a hairball. I get all 7, or loses it to somebody on somewhere in like 6 or 7, and it's somebody who deserves to win. I think that's good because it elevates the TV title. It elevates whoever does eventually beat him, and if he does get all 7 and gets a title shot, I know you guys are going to go ecstatic for it, but at least it builds him up more as a tough contender challenger. These are the wins that really I think he should be getting. The whole stupid 7 rules for and giving up the belt is still something. Just like the 605 time limit, I think is also stupid. But if you're going to build up Brian Idol, this is a way to do so, and it also helps with the television title. Rick, Jay,
yeah.
No, I think I agree.
Okay.
Thank you. Huh? I'll let you know what it looks like after. Sorry. The wife bought me a Carl's Jr. hamburger.
Awesome.
What, you're good enough for a Carl Sr.?
No, Carl's Jr. It's a big chain out here in Southern California. I think you guys call them Hardee's.
We used to have a Hardee's up here in Connecticut, but that was 30 some odd years ago.
We just opened up another Roy Rogers in New Jersey. Damn. I know. Next time you come when you come to a dog event, come to check out Roy Rogers. Technically we've always had one, but it was on the Turnpike, and it was like one of those Turnpike that it wasn't worth traveling that part of the Turnpike to go to Roy Rogers. But this one's actually
when I was on my trip to 77, I stopped to use a bathroom at a rest area, and I discovered there was a Roy Rogers in there. So that's exactly where I went.
And I do like the Roy Rogers chicken. I haven't had a Roy Rogers burger. I don't remember if they're any good. It's been so long.
They used to be all over here when I was a kid in the 80s, early 90s. I think the last one in over by the movie theater, like a bunch of towns over, kind of closed down. But sorry, we're getting off and talking about food again, Jay.
No,
salad, while he's eating, we're stalling. The Salad Works now in Glassboro was a Boston Market. Before that, it was a Boston Chicken. And before that, it was a Hardee's. And before that, it was our Roy Rogers. Wow. So it was a lot of things. Now it's a Salad Works. And the Chipotle next to it caused a lot of people to get sick. Don't go there.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, don't eat much fast food in Glassboro. The McDonald's is edible.
I don't know McDonald's.
And
So
then just go and then the Pancheros across the street's pretty good. But the
Yeah.
rest of the fast food in town, just kind of avoid. Go for like the smaller mom and pop restaurants or something.
yeah.
Which at the end, I might have some news for you guys. It's tentative, but I'll let you guys know at the end after we're off the air. So
Nice.
stay tuned.
Thank you for letting me get a bite. I was starving.
I get you.
I'm
Food
not
is evil food.
I'm not like starving, but I was very hungry. I just want to make that clear. I understand people actually are starving in the world. I'm not starving. The next match was another a weird match to put together. It was a 6-man tag team match that featured Damian Fenrir, Luke Curtis, and Slade taking on the team of the Lost with Alex Misery, Crazy Steve, and Lev, with Father James Mitchell and Gags the Gimp. Was there any sign of special stipulation that this match set up, or
I think it was the last 2 men at the end met for a number 1 contender match, if I remember correctly, for the junior title. And to me, I don't think that it was really explained too well, unless I just wasn't paying attention. But shout out to Alex Misery. I see he's still in the chat. A fantastic performance by him and Steve, which I absolutely love. Both those guys. So I couldn't get into the stipulation of this matchup. The stipulation would I hope on TV that they explain it like more clear. So, and that's pretty much my argument.
Based on what I'm seeing,
yes,
should no way be, and I'm just basing it on the results that I'm seeing posted here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it was Slade and 2 people who I have no idea who they are.
Am I reading this wrong? Where am I looking?
Fernand Curtis. And
yes, yep.
Okay, so it was them and the Lost in a standard 6-man tag team match, which Slade and the other 2 won. So once they won that match, then the teammates become opponents.
Yes.
And so then what happened is you had Damon win over, win over, and I have no idea who that is, over Curtis and Slade. And
correct.
Did he have to pin both of them, or did he just pin one of them? Do you know? Do you remember?
That I don't. I can't remember, honestly. I really don't.
Because they don't really say. They just say he.
Yeah, I said he defeated Luke Curtis and Slade. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of a weird stipulation that, a 6-man tag match, and then he's going to go against his opponents if they won for the number 1 contender. I mean, who thinks of stuff like that other than Billy Corgan?
It's not a Billy thing. I have seen that before. It's not very common, and I think one of the reasons it's not very common is because it's very stupid.
Yes.
Jaden, have you seen that before, Jaden?
I've heard of stuff like that where tag matches are triple threats or something like that where, the winners all face each other to get the title shot, and I never liked it. It was stupid.
That's probably why I got so confused. Sorry, Jaden, to cut you off. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Here's what I don't understand. First of all, it completely neuters the Lost because they're an actual team, an actual faction, and it completely neuters them. I hope it wasn't Crazy Steve or Alex Misery that got pinned because they at least have some potential to be something. 2, Crazy Steve is not a junior heavyweight.
I don't think so. No.
And I barely consider Slade a junior heavyweight. 3, Slade is the one out of that other team, the only one that's got marketability and would look like somebody who could make a good champion and then also look like somebody make a good challenger. So out of every possibility and everything that's thrown into that, I think that match did nothing at all to build the person who won it and did nothing to build the junior heavyweight division and did nothing to build any of the wrestlers involved. It just sounds like a cluster fudge of bad booking and hurting the booking of Billy Corgan. I bet you he's on commentary. He'll be talking about how badly it was booked. That's going to be even the funnier part. Or he doesn't understand how this was going on or why they're fighting again.
I do
Say
have
this.
some good news, sorry, Jay, regarding the commentary situation. Towards like the second half of the show, I didn't see him in the booth. The booth was right up on the stage where like it's, you know, it's a concert venue, it looked like. And I kept looking over because I'm like, I really hope that he really thinks better. Maybe he's listening to us. Maybe he's reading our tweets that get him off commentary. But so he wasn't there the whole time. He was there. I believe he was there sometimes, but you know, I have bad vision, so you know, I'm getting old, my age.
I hope someone
so
just handed him a guitar and he thought he was in a concert venue and started playing. I forgot that it was a wrestling event.
So maybe just told him, just pulled the hook, the cane out, and just hooked him, and you know, said, "Listen, get the hell out of here. You're bad." But yeah, I didn't see him after a while up in that corner. So at one point, there definitely is just Joe and Danny up in that booth, and that's the way it should be. Billy Corgan. So
Anyway, Fenrir is a Norse giant wolf that comes out during the Ragnarok. So that's what Fenrir is. Was he a Viking-looking dude?
We've seen
don't-
Fenrir
no.
on TV. He's been on Power before.
yeah, I
He
looked
looks
him up
great.
on the
maybe.
website. He's on the website on the roster page. I don't think that's the gimmick. That looks no.
He's okay. For those who watch Power, you've seen him before. If you regularly watch Power, you've seen him before, and he looks good. Overmetal explains that Fenrir has 2 matches on Power, including a tag match with Dante Casanova, where they fought the whole time. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Matt is trying to get us sponsored by Carl's Jr., and I'm all right with that. I'll say this, like, so if the Lost would have won, would Misery, Crazy Steve, and Lev fought each other for a shot at the number 1 contenders decision?
Yes, that's the way that basically.
That's pretty
works.
much how it's supposed to work. Yes, it took me a while to figure. It took me over like just about a week to figure it out. Thank you, DK, for helping me clarify that.
And
the only reason I know is because just of the way the results were printed, and I'm looking at a picture of Damien Fenrir or whatever.
Yeah, he looks just like a dude.
Well, he's giving me what was the name of that dancing German WCW?
Alex Wright? Berlin?
Oh,
Yeah, he's kind of giving me that vibe. He's got like a leather jacket and his hair's short on the sides and the top slicked back. He's looks. I don't know. I mean, the vibe just looking at this picture is like, oh, great. We got another dancing German on hands. Except for he doesn't look German.
Did you know Alex Wright was a second-generation wrestler?
Yes.
That
I
what?
did not know that.
Yes, I knew it, but I don't remember anything about who his father was or mother or whoever.
He was another German wrestler, Steve Wright.
You mean his dad was a German wrestler as well?
Yes.
That's crazy.
No, that's Steve.
Good. Nicely done.
But
Takes us. Go ahead.
if they would have made the Lost win, which is still funny now that I think about it, because the lost. If they made them win, who would you have liked to seen in that junior heavyweight picture? Because again, Crazy Steve is not really a junior heavyweight.
No, Misery all the way. I feel like Misery, that's where Misery should be. And I'm not just saying that because he occasionally pops in here. He's an exciting wrestler. He is definitely a junior heavyweight, and he has something that we don't see from a lot of the guys on the roster. Colby Carino is similar, and I'm not saying that your junior heavyweight has to be a high flyer, but Alex Taylor has said a couple times, I'm not a high flyer. I'm a mat wrestler. Joe Alonzo didn't take a whole lot of high risk either. Kerry Morton was not a high risk wrestler. Homicide used to be in the old days, but not when he was in the NWA. If we had Alex Misery as our junior heavyweight champion, you're going to have somebody who's going to high fly like a cruiserweight, more cruiserweight, less junior heavyweight, kind of what Colby Carino did. And I think that would be interesting. Matt, I knew what that was coming from, by the way. But getting back to the story, giving us something different on the roster. We don't have a lot of guys who are flying around the ring like that anymore. Mecha Wolf's gone, Bestia's gone. we don't have a lot of junior heavyweights or luchadors who are flying around the ring. Misery is kind of it right now. And if he's your guy, then like every other matchup becomes a little bit more interesting, at least in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have Jack Roundup anymore.
No, not. He wrestled in San Diego last weekend.
So yeah, it is just Alex Misery. He's the only one, and that's if Alex Misery is a junior heavyweight that flies and takes on, say, somebody against Slade, and he's more of a powerhouse, throw you around kind of wrestler. The conflicting styles make interesting matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
they make cluster fudges, but
yeah, I mean, I've seen some where it's like, boy, they cannot get on the same page. It's like two wrestlers you really like wrestling, or you really enjoy watching, and it'll be like, gee whiz, no, their styles just don't work.
That's actually the one that always most amazed me is, and they both said it, Barry Windham and Ricky Steamboat just didn't click.
No.
And as good as both of them are, that's hilarious. In like that they just didn't click with each other.
Yeah.
So that does happen sometimes.
It can. So, I don't know.
With that, Jay?
Say that one more time, Jane. I didn't hear you.
Do you have fries with that?
No, just a burger. I'm trying not to eat so many carbs. The bun was enough carbs.
Oh, I want French fries. Thanks
I haven't
a lot.
had bread in 2 weeks, and that's on purpose.
Okay, so real quick, derail the conversation. Is it because
Sorry.
you're trying to get off of gluten, or because you are trying to cut down on your carbs, or what's the plan?
Cut down on carbs. I've been making a lot of positive life changes, so it's time.
That's awesome.
It's time. My big fat ass needs to get off the couch and do stuff. So,
I've been making a lot of changes too, but I've not given up carbs.
yeah, I mean, I would eat so much bread. I love bread and pizza and all sorts of stuff. So, it's.
Can I give you one piece of advice? Because I literally am paying a trainer right now who's giving me meal plans, and bread is 100% on my meal plan. It's not. I can't have bread every day, and I can't have it with every meal. But putting the bread on the menu, like for me, like what I was told is you have your protein, you have your carb, you have your healthy fats, and all that's okay. You just kind of have to measure your macros, and that's a little bit challenging. But there's things out there that'll help you figure out how much macronutrients you need. And carbs are not necessarily bad. It's just if eating an out of proportion, like your protein
and that's my problem. Like seriously, that's my problem. Like I definitely will eat out of proportion. And the other thing is, I used to eat a bagel every single morning. You know what I mean? For like the longest time, and then I saw my doctor, and they're like, "It's basically the equivalent to 6 slices of bread."
Oh shit!
So I said, "Oh my god!" And not to mention what you put on the bagel, whether it be cream cheese or butter or what have you, peanut butter. So I said, well, forget that. I very rarely eat bagels now. Like that, like really shocked me. So I was just, yeah.
I have worked in various forms of the health industry when it comes to science of nutrition and supplements and going to the gym. And I can tell you that the industry of sugar put a lot of money to criminalize carbs and fats and fruits, even when everybody knows that the real problem is sugar. The problem is a lot of these breads do contain more than just carbs. Some breads actually contain as much sugar as a bottle of soda. So that's part of the problem you have to watch out for. The carbs aren't an issue. Without carbs, you're not going to put on muscle. And without fat, healthy fat, there's a lot of health benefits to healthy fats that people don't realize. So there's my educational thing from Jaden. And you can leave my PayPal, I can tell you that, or my Venmo. If you want more advice, just I will charge.
So for breakfast on Tuesday, I came home from my workout, had 4 scrambled eggs, 2 pieces of toast, and like half a plate of broccoli. And I was so full after eating all that. And like it was it was good. Like I've been losing weight. I'm down like 5 pounds in the last 2 weeks. So
That's awesome.
it's
I can't eat eggs. I can't eat eggs. Like it grosses me out.
I understand that. I get it. My brother's the same way, but like
My ex is that way.
You're like that too?
No, my ex.
Oh,
I love eggs.
Yeah, my wife today made me this really good, like healthy burrito. Like we used Greek yogurt and Cholula for the sauce on it, and lettuce and lean taco meat, like the ground turkey, and a carb balanced tortilla, and it was so good. And she goes, "I thought you just want something different." And I go, "It's great. I love it, but nothing's better than scrambled eggs and toast for me. That's it. That's what I want to eat all the time."
You know, scrambled eggs and taco meat also make a great burrito.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. And now I'm getting hungry, and I just crushed a burger. So let's get back to.
I haven't eaten yet, but yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Rick. And I just
You're
crushed
good.
a burger in front of you.
You're good, bro.
That's okay. The last thing I ate was a package of ramen noodles and some cookies. So,
Ooh, do you know how bad we're sitting there talking about how bad foods are, and you know how bad ramen is for you? Like I haven't eaten that probably in 15 years. So
here's the thing: ramen by itself isn't bad for you. Those prepackaged ramens, they're pretty bad for you, but they're also quite delicious.
Yeah, well,
and when I had my apartment, it was the
eats,
only thing that kept me alive.
Yeah, everybody in my house eats it but me. Like my 19-year-old son eats them. My 10-year-old eats them. My wife will eat them on occasion. They'll just buy them they're easy. You know what I mean? I get it.
Dr. Zirconium owes me a lot of money right now, and unfortunately, so does the United States government that I'm having trouble getting from them. But at least the New Jersey government, I should say. But so right now, ramen is the cheap alternative. And again, when I had the apartments, I was living off of a pro wrestler salary, an independent pro wrestler salary, and some occasional work for NBC doing like video production or editing, which was great money when it came around. So I often was living off of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, tuna fish, ramen noodles, and macaroni and cheese. And my big meal was once a week. My friend LJ would get me pizza. So
I love pizza. I could eat pizza every day, honestly, if I could, and I'm trying to avoid eating it every day. So I'll do maybe like once a week if I can. So
you know. It's hard, but good Lord, even bad pizza's good.
That's not true. Again, I'm going to argue anytime that I've been to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and parts of upstate New York where pizza is atrocious.
Okay.
I told you I was just in North Carolina. I told you I had the worst pizza I ever had in my life. So never again.
So we have 4 spots now. We have upstate New York. We have Orlando, Florida. Where else did you say, Jaden?
Scranton, Pennsylvania. They put freaking American cheese and sauce that tastes like tomato paste without anything in it.
That's got to be the particular place. That's got to be a particular
place. No,
it's
a Scranton thing. They love their American cheese. And it's the same thing. At least the one in Buffalo, New York, it tastes like a grilled cheese sandwich. Not a good grilled cheese sandwich, but it tastes like a grilled cheese sandwich. I don't know how a pepperoni pizza could taste like a grilled cheese sandwich, but it's a lot.
Now I want a grilled cheese sandwich.
That's hideous.
But it's not a good grilled cheese sandwich. It's not like the government cheese kind of cheese or nothing.
No. I want a good grilled cheese sandwich. Thanks a lot, Jaden.
Yeah.
When I was in Wenzhou, China, they literally served me pizza with yellow cheese. I think it was cheddar, and it was still pretty damn good. Better than what I had in Orlando.
I've had cheddar on pizza. Cheddar can work.
It worked. But
American cheese doesn't.
I was in China. I was just happy to have something that wasn't monkey brains or something. Marquez kept selling me, oh, the last time I was here, they offered us monkey brains and they had us eat all kinds of weird shit. And I'm like, man.
He had to be pulling your leg. He had to be joking with you.
I believe the first time he went out there, because it was like the negotiation process. They're trying to feel each other out. Right. I think they were literally messing with him. To like, let's see how much ball this guy will play. And then he did what he had to do, and then when the talent was there, not that I was talent, but the talent was there, they took care of us. It was either McDonald's or pizza or the all-you-can-eat buffet breakfast.
Wow. All you can eat. All right, we better move on.
Yeah, I heard some of the talent did a lot of eating too.
Some of them never left the room. They ate so much.
Yeah.
Singles match. Hammerstone defeats Kerry Morton. And that, to me...
And that weren't ham sandwiches either.
No, not ham sandwiches. Hammerstone is still not a signed wrestler. He's still a freelancer. He's still working the independents. He's still available. I don't know what Billy could offer him to get him to sign with the NWA to make him exclusive. Probably not enough. But is Hammerstone a guy that you would sign if you could potentially sign him as a talent? Jaden, you go first.
I don't think drop an F-bomb, but yes.
All right, you can drop the F-bomb. There's no problem with the F-bomb.
No, there's plenty of problems with the F-bomb, apparently. But yeah, I 100% would sign Hammerstone if I was the NWA. If Dr. Zirconian could sign him, I'd tell him to do so. If I was part of the WWE, if I was part of NXT, if I was part of TNA, if I was part of MLW, if I was part of the menagerie that is AEW, I would have signed Hammerstone in any one of those companies. And it's just like Richard Holiday, who's really going out of his way to make a name for himself. It's a travesty of justice that he's not there. He's not signed anywhere. Like he's not under somebody's thumb. Not thumb. Auspice.
DKM?
Yes.
Thoughts on Hammerstone?
Well, I asked Hammerstone on Twitter to put Kerry Morton through the ring for me as a favor. I saw a clip that Rick sent me, and Hammerstone did put Kerry through the ring, basically speaking. So I was a very happy man. Now, if I had money, I would
have money.
I would definitely snap up Hammerstone if I could. I don't know that with the way I've been told some of the things work in the NWA, I don't know that it would be a good deal for him. But if I were going to be there, I would have to, if I were him, I'd have to have the Nick Aldis role. Basically, you put the world title on me, and I'm your guy for the next couple of years.
And now the question to you, Rick. You saw the match live, but first and foremost, let's hear. Would you sign Hammerstone if you were in charge of the NWA first? And then secondly, tell us about the match.
No question. No question he would be signed, because I think that I would do everything in my power to try to get that money together to be able to pay this man, because with the fact that he's not signed to a major promotion, it's ridiculous, because he has the look, he has the skill. I think he's marketable if you get him there. This match, I really enjoyed this match. This match was freaking awesome. I'm telling you, I'm not the world's biggest Kerry fan, because he just kind of looks like a dork. But it's just, and he's not convincing as a heel, really, because he looks like a baby, So, but this was a great match, dude. You look like you damn near could have murdered him. There was such a size difference between the two. So matching those two up, I thought was kind of like an oddball choice, but yeah.
Well, I think it stems from the Crockett Cup, doesn't it?
Got you. Okay.
Okay.
About the Crockett Cup.
Yeah, I think helped through Billy.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, I understand that. I understand, like, again, there's not a lot of like for Kerry Morton. I can make money with Kerry Morton if you just tighten his physique up a little bit. Yeah, I think there's something there. And Hammerstone, 1,000,000,000%. The only thing I would have if I was signing with Hammerstone would be I wouldn't allow him to do any more of those bodybuilding shows, because what does he look sickly when he's doing them?
Yeah, I thought this was a very good match. I would not be like, none of that hardcore death match crap. I've seen stupid matches that he's been a part of. Why does he have to do that? Because he's a very good wrestler. He's very marketable. He doesn't need to go in to do crap like that. So bring him in here. He can have a really good match as a legit professional wrestler. That belly to back suplex, he looked like he damn near could have broke Kerry in half. You know, the kick to the face looked like he could have took his head off. It was a fun show or match. Excuse me.
I do want to bring something up because of what Luthez put up there. He goes, "I'd sign him, but it would be a solid injury clauses." He was not injured during most of his TNA run. He was not medically cleared, but it was not an injury. It was. I don't remember exactly what it was, but basically he couldn't get TNA's doctors to clear him, even though whatever the thing was I can't remember if it was like a heart palpitation or something.
Yeah.
Even though like every other doctor that he had been to, seen, or whatever had said he was fine, something was happening where he either wasn't getting into. They either weren't sending the TNA doctor or whoever needed to clear him to do it. So I know a lot of people kind of go, well, he was so injured, and that's why TNA didn't do it. TNA wasn't using him right, and B, he was not injured for months, for FOR months, and so that was something else. He's posted about it multiple times.
Okay.
All right, what was the next match?
So the next match, and we do have quite a few to get through still.
4 hours or 5 hours worth.
It was a very long show. So
the next match is Aaron Stevens making his return to in-ring competition, taking on Carson Bartholomew. Excuse me. Aaron Stevens teaming with Carson Bartholomew Drake to take on the Holy Grail of EC3 and Pretty Boy Smooth with Pastor CeeLo. They're known as the Holy Grail, don't you know?
Yeah, I heard they said it all on the podcast you were on the other night, multiple times, reminding people they were the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
In the chat.
That's right. But again, weird to see Aaron Stevens involved in a wrestling match. Being a manager is one thing, but actually competing in front of an audience, not some theatrical thing, but an actual wrestling match. Teaming with Drake, who they've had this kind of unholy alliance for quite some time. Taking on the Holy Grail. Now, the interesting thing about that is, I believe Carson Drake is what I would consider an Exodus Pro guy. I think he kind of got his start there with Exodus Pro. So taking on the Holy Grail is kind of like taking on Team Exodus Pro. What did you think about this one, Rick? Was this a good match?
I really don't have an opinion. I mean, it was just kind of there, I'm not the world's biggest EC3 fan, and just kind of getting in, seeing this PB Smooth guy. Yeah, nothing. I don't really have much of an opinion of this one. I didn't really care either way. I might have gone up to get to the bathroom halfway through, if I remember correctly.
Now, the weird thing about this one is it was advertised to be Murnox versus the Holy Grail. But that's not the matchup we got. Did they make any announcement at the show as to why? Or
at the show, no. I was under the assumption that maybe they didn't make it. One of them got injured, something to that effect.
Yeah.
But they did some last minute changes, and they didn't mention anything on TV either, unless they're going to make it on TV leading up to it on television, maybe.
Yeah.
So
they did do the TV tapings in Tampa, so there is that 4 weeks of television before we get to 77 after the Crockett Cup. So maybe there's an explanation there. One thing we did pass over too is the Pope made his return to the NWA. Now this is actually the second event he's been back at, because he did come to the TV taping in Tampa as well. But what did the Pope have to say? How did he look? What are your thoughts on seeing him back in an NWA ring again?
He was very fancy looking, nice suit, dressed to the nines. People were loving this guy today. He came out there, basically made a statement, did a bunch of talking. Basically, he's coming for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, is what he said. And the crowd really went nuts for that. So I'd like to see how they're going to lead up into that.
Yeah. All right. DK, Jaden, you have anything to add about the Pope being back?
Well, I'll start off with the tag match. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the CBD and Damien Sandow won, right? Or I'm sorry, whatever his name is.
Yeah, they won. Yep.
I don't understand that because they were pushing the Team Exodus Pro. What are they called, Jay? I don't remember them telling me
The
their
Holy
name. What are
Grail.
they called?
Holy Grail.
Yeah.
I was being very sarcastic as
Oh.
the Holy Grail. They were the ones with the most potential as a tag team. They went far in the Crockett Cup. They had some wins. Former world champion. Again, I don't understand the booking. I think it was just whatever. Hey, like, we got some guys left over. Let's throw a match together. Maybe there's some kind of storyline into that. I don't know, but I don't really care, honestly. The match, nothing about that match. I'm an EC3 fan, but nothing in that match excited me at all. I like the Pope's back. I like the fact he's challenging the one to say he wants the world title. Everybody, Hammerstone, the Pope, EC3, Trevor Murdoch, anybody who's anybody in the NWA should be now seeing that there's a new champion. And sometimes when there's a new champion, they don't have their foot in the door yet, especially with somebody who's not won the belt before. So they should be going after and gunning for that champion because he's might be not knowing what he has to expect, and maybe they'll sneak out a win and get a quick win on that and change the trajectory of the NWA and beat a champion before he really gets his foot in the ground. And I think everybody should be challenging for the new champion, and they should be doing vignettes instead of doing stupid skits, and they should be doing promos on Instagram and TikTok and anything else that they do, because that's how you make the world champion mean something. That's how you make the world heavyweight championship mean something, and that's how you make the challengers mean something, by saying they want this champion and they want to take the belt from him.
Yeah. I
DK?
don't have a play with that.
Are you there, DK?
I am, I think. On the tag, yeah, true. Actually, I'm not going to argue that one at all. On the tag team match, I have not been able to get into the Holy Grail. I don't see EC3 and Peanut Butter as a real tag team. I just don't. Drake and Stevens, they at least have some history. Stevens has managed Drake in the territories.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why he's back in the ring wrestling, but I at least see them as a team, because they have been a team in the territories. Speaking of which, talk about being behind. World League Wrestling, they're like 5 months behind, I think. And so, I mean, tag team match, don't care. That's probably when I would have got up and taken a restroom break, bought popcorn, whatever. Pope, I love Pope. Everyone knows that I love Pope. If you were around back when he was here the first time, people know that Jay and I think Jaden too, although he can correct me if I'm wrong, we wanted to see the Nick Aldis Pope world title match.
Yes.
Pope did a t-shirt for, and we never got. Billy seemed to be not interested in Pope. Not almost. He basically dissed him on TV. Like, oh, great, now I got to deal with him for a world title, world championship. And so, I don't know. So I'm glad he's there. I'm glad he's going after the world championship. And considering the changes made, it certainly makes sense. So, what was the next match, Jay?
Well, our on the job Johnny on the job is taking a break here for a second. So let's try to navigate these waters. The next matchup was it was the women's television title match. Tiffany Nieves with Miss Star defended against Sierra Vale. She won that match. Now Sierra Vale is new to the NWA. She's new to the National Wrestling Alliance. Her history is not super deep. She's had a few matches. I think she started wrestling in 2023, and it's it's kind of interesting. You know, I look at their match history to see where they came from. Like, I know she had a match out in Arizona back in 23. I know that she worked for NWA Crossfire in 24 and again in 25, where she kind of made a couple appearances for Crossfire this year. She's appeared at Shine. She's appeared at I guess that's basically it. She was part of the TV tapings where she teamed with Clara Carter to take on Tiffany Nieves and Valentina Rossi for the titles. Apparently, there might have been some sort of angle involved with the TV tapings, because that was the matchup that was announced for 77th anniversary show. Rick, what did you think of this match? What do you think of what you saw out of Sierra Vale?
Serena Vale?
Serena Vale, excuse me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching her. I've, the short time that she's been with the National Wrestling Alliance, I've really enjoyed her. Her and Tiffany Nieves, I thought, put on a fantastic matchup. Really did. I was kind of surprised because I just felt like maybe they might have been switching the title, but it did not happen. And regardless, it was a pretty good match.
And we found out later why her partner wasn't there, because she was actually in Japan.
Right.
Valentina Rossi was working dates in Japan, so that's why she wasn't at the event. But DK, Jaden, what do you know about Serena Vale, and what did you think about? What do you think about Tiffany retaining?
I'm happy Tiffany retained. I do like Tiffany. I think she's an asset to the NWA. I have no real opinion on Serena.
Yes,
I
Serena.
don't have any real opinion on her, so I really can't say anything positive or negative. Maybe I'll watch the match and give you something later. DK?
Tiffany needs to drop the World Tag Team Championship, focus on the TV title. I don't know anything about her opponent one way or the other, so I'll just have to wait to see the match.
The only thing I'll disagree is I'd rather her drop the TV and concentrate on the tag team, because I think the tag team has more upside than as a tag team. So, but it's because I saw them at the Crockett Cup.
I don't know if I talked about this here on the show, because I know I missed last week, but what's his name? Billy made a comment that he still had a dream to do a women's Crockett Cup, and it's like, well, then maybe you should put some effort and focus into establishing women's tag teams.
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of just bringing somebody in long enough to hold the title and then letting them go.
Put more effort into the NWA as a whole before you start doing stuff like that. I mean, come on, Billy.
Oh.
Seriously.
Well, and real quick, because I have complaints too. I mean, we had that empowered all-women pay-per-view that was mostly financed by AEW, apparently. My big problem with that is they introduced the tag titles just to do it. They didn't have a tag team division for women's wrestling in the NWA. Everyone that showed up was an outsider. You put the belts on Allison Kay and Marty Bell, who are phenomenal talents, but you had no one for them to defend against. It was a rush job. It was a hack job. It was not needed. I think that's Billy's MO.
That's the NWA currently. That's Billy's booking. Yes. Yeah.
Since we're going to blow time anyway, I want to throw this in real quick. I was watching a thing on YouTube, one of those top 10 countdowns or whatever. I don't remember which group this one was particularly. But they're talking about bands that hated their lead singer. And so, they had Journey and Guns N' Roses and some of the others. But, of course, like the second or third one they bring up is Smashing Pumpkins. And they point out how in Billy's mind, what got them over was what he did, and so not what the band did, but what he did, and that's why he basically would demand it like full control and do everything. Why he pushed out 1, 2, 10 bassists, I don't remember the number, and all that stuff, and basically he didn't leave the band to go solo. The band basically left him and said F off. And so it's like, and whether I would have believed that or not believed it a few years ago, watching him run the NWA, it's like, yeah, I see that. I think Billy at one point figured out that the only way the NWA is going to get over is if he's part of it publicly and out there doing everything.
Tell him to stop getting the commentary and stop booking and just start popping the popcorn instead.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's wrong, by the way, but I think that's what he thinks.
Jeez.
All right. Well, has everyone talked on this one?
Yeah, we can move on.
Let's move on. We got a lot here still to go.
Next up, we have the National Heavyweight Title #1 Contenders Heartthrob Invitational match. Like, what the fuck kind of name is that?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I said. This was a gauntlet, so to speak, where somebody entered every, I don't know, 90 seconds, minute, something similar to like a Royal Rumble. It was basically a Royal Rumble in a way.
Okay.
So with the options to pin somebody, I got to tell you, this is where the crowd, they lost the crowd here.
Sure.
This shit went long. They brought in a bunch of people that literally, if you didn't know, if you like I said earlier, that if there was people there that were only going because they heard there was a wrestling event, they might not have necessarily known anybody. Like, if you don't watch the NWA, then you're definitely gonna not know half the people that were in this match, literally, because they brought in a lot of guys from like WLW, Texas, a bunch of guys from Texas, and then others. Wrecking Ball, Jay Bradley, they kind of went at it a little bit. But I got to tell you, Wrecking Ball was over like crazy for this match. People were pissed off. He got screwed, was eliminated, and they were chanting him throughout the match. And after the match, they were chanting for him like crazy. Wrecking Ball got screwed, all that kind of stuff. But this was another huge clusterfuck, like legitimately. It was just annoying to watch. And this was, just once again, there is more gimmicky type stuff between all the title matches. And this is definitely one of them, because Billy's one of those guys who wants to get every single person that's on the roster on the show, and then some people that don't even work there he wants to bring in just to fill up and make it like a super show of some sort.
Yeah.
Like
I know they have to fill 5 weeks of television, but with actual good vignettes and good promos and stuff like that, it can be done.
Yeah.
Or just cut down the time to a half hour instead of 45 minutes.
Yeah, I don't like 30-minute wrestling shows. That just drives me
I don't
nuts.
like 15 minutes of garbagey segments. So
there's
I had
that
to
too.
choose between the two.
Yeah, this one, and I don't think I'm familiar with Tyler Stevens. Are you guys familiar with this guy?
No, I'm not familiar with Tyler Stevens. In fact, I went to go look him up right now, and I'll let you know what I think of him. Oh, that's a football player.
Maybe he's related to Aaron.
Maybe.
He's Aaron's illegitimate brother.
Oh
wait,
yeah,
no, that was never mind. That was Elias.
I guess his name is The Wall. His nickname is The Wall.
Oh, interesting name.
I thought Jerry too passed away many years ago.
Yeah.
Well, that Wall passed away, but apparently this Wall is still around. Anyways, let's keep moving on. We got time. We don't have that much time to get through everything. Baron Von Storm defeats Daisy Kill with Talos by disqualification. I'm surprised Talos was even in the building, to be quite honest. He was just in Japan a few weeks ago working for All Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm kind of shocked he was even in the venue. We know that Tim Storm, his ability to work is diminishing, and it's not an insult. It's just the fact of life. How did this match look to you? Was it a fun match? Was it an okay match? Was it terrible? I mean,
I felt bad for Tim Storm, to be honest with you. I really did. Okay. It just seemed like I said, this is where like that match prior to where the card started to die down, the crowd. They had been there too long. They're tired. People started to empty out already. Okay, so a lot of the balcony was already started to be empty. I know some of the floor seats were empty. So they were losing a lot of the crowd to where people were just getting up and leaving because it was gone too long or there was just too much BS going on. And I don't think that, I love Tim Storm, but I just don't think that this was anything. This is just a 5-minute thing for him to do on TV, basically. Keep him involved type thing.
So, yeah, I mean, and that sounds about right, too, because, like, look, I know that Billy and the NWA are loyal to Tim Storm because Tim Storm was loyal to Billy and the NWA when he could have told them to fuck off. Like,
Right,
he literally
exactly.
he could have taken the money and run. He could have dropped the title in DSW in Japan, and I feel like he did the right thing and he played ball, but I think he's also getting really long in the tooth, and it's kind of hard to watch him even wrestle at this point because he's not who he used to be.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age too.
Yeah.
This is where he needs to be commissioner and does all the stuff that Billy Corgan tries to put himself to do instead, and put himself in a suit and get rid of the stupid gimmick and just make him the CEO or the commissioner or somebody who would speak before and set up rules and make special decisions.
Well, they tried that once and then they effed it up.
Well, that sounds like what the NWA is really good at.
They were, he was supposed to be the commissioner in NWA USA, which to this day they've never explained anything about what happened with that. Yeah. And then somehow or another, he did something that I guess the idea was it was controversial, but it really wasn't. And Medusa came out, and all of a sudden she was the co-commissioner. And then Raven came out and wanted to know why he wasn't commissioner. And
we don't need to get into all that again. I was
going to say, and then they all disappeared.
You're confusing me. Like
they all disappeared.
Yeah.
Just like all disappeared.
Yep.
That takes us to the mixed 8-man territory match. This was essentially Crossfire versus Joe Kazana Promotions. The whole thing seems to be, they were building this throughout both the Crockett Cup and during the whole presidential election thing that they did. Did
I miss the national title?
We didn't get there yet.
Yeah, I did skip it.
You did. Yeah.
I'll get to that after this. We get Bullwhip Ballard. I've never heard of this person. Judy Lee. Never heard of this person. Teaming with the Country Gentlemen, AJ Kazana and Casey Kazana, with Joe Kazana to take on the team of Hunter, Kylie Page, Kylie Page's dad, Tommy Henry, and Tyler Franks.
Okay.
God.
Now, we saw Tyler Frank recently disassociate from the Country Gentleman at the Crockett Cup when he gave old Joe Kazana that world famous nut shot. But outside of that, like, does this seem like a match that should be on the 77?
Dude, it should have been a match that was left in the territory, to be honest with you. Like, this was just outlandish, and this goes to speak what I was saying. Like, every match is a gimmick match. It's not a title match on this damn show. This was ridiculous. I was tired at this point. I was actually in the snack area, walked away from the arena and went in and got a soft pretzel with my son and was watching on the big screens in the bar area because I just didn't want to sit there anymore. So, like, in this match, just did not seem very interesting. However, from what I did see, AJ Kazana, a true professional. I really enjoy watching him. He put on a great performance. KC was okay as well, and I really don't care about the others, to be honest with you.
I really like AJ Kazana. I feel like he's being held back trying to keep the Country Gentleman a thing when I think he should be a singles competitor. I really like Kylie Page. Tyler Franks was okay the times that I've seen him. He's a competent wrestler. DK will tell you that Hunter makes him sad. Tommy Henry, I don't know that he ever was a really real active wrestler anyways, and I'm not trying to be rude, but I know that he's been in charge of Crossfire that he left to his daughters, but like I don't think I I could be mistaken. I don't think he's had much of a wrestling career, and I'm gonna try to look that up right now. But I mean, do you guys have any additional thoughts to that?
No, he could have just been the local guy that worked over the years in the Indies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that's. I can't.
That happens. It happens quite frequently. You know what I mean? Local guys and then they start doing their own thing, whether they open up a school or and start promoting.
Those who can wrestle, those who can't run a promotion.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
national title.
Yeah, national title. Mike Mondo with Aaron Stevens. Mims with Black Cheese to become the new NWA national champion. Did not have this one on my bingo card.
When
I saw the highlights
from Rick Del Santo, I'm sorry. Yeah,
that's all right. Real quick, when I saw the highlights of Rick Del Santo, I thought it was Pastor CeeLo, and I realized no, it was another African American midget.
This is a fun match. I thought this was great, and the crowd was kind of like really into it. I thought, and I think it's been time for Mims to lose the title because I don't feel like he hasn't been doing much lately. You know what I mean? With that belt.
I blame the NWA on that, but yes, you're right.
Yes. But I mean, Mims has been this. I'm sorry, Jay, but Mims has been there from the beginning of the Power Taping to Lightning One era, since the first season. And he's probably, is he the only guy that's still in existence from that era?
Sandow.
Who? No, he didn't come in the first season, Damian Sandow. He probably came in the second. He did?
Yeah, he came in because I saw him wrestle live. He was involved with the feud with Ricky Starks.
Okay, I thought that those guys didn't come into like the second season.
No, he was in the first season, and then the whole question mark thing took off, and he was kind of in the shadow.
Right.
Vladimir was there as the tag team champion.
That's true too. Yep.
Mims was there, and then depending on how you count it, first season or whatever, I think there was one other person.
Yeah, there's a very small amount of people from the first season that are still there.
They've twice put a title on Mims. The first time they screwed him over big time because they decided they needed to do something with Max. And this time they screwed him over in a different way, in that they just really didn't do anything with him. Probably his most exciting match was with Legursky.
Mm-hmm.
Next. Oh, yeah, new national champion.
Yeah, so new national champion. The match itself, pretty good, bad, terrible.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a very good match. Crowd seemed to still be into it, though they were getting tired. And I think what the hell's the guy's name? Mondo winning the title is the right move, honestly. I think that, if they feature him properly with that belt in weekly, bi-weekly, whatever you want to call it, regularly, I think it's a good move. I think that it's a very good move for Mondo and the NWA if Billy is smart with it, because it seems like once people get belts, they're they're on TV way less.
Mondo is somebody that Jaden has said lots of times that he could make money promoting that guy. So
I think so. Yeah.
And he's proof that he can do that supplement plan that some of the wrestlers like EC3 were doing and not slow down and only get in first gear.
Right.
Next up, we have the Women's World Championship match, the Burke, if you will. Natalia Markova finally putting an end to the Kenzie Page run as champion. Kenzie Page held that title for well over 2 years. In fact, I guess that caps out at she was champion for just over 720 days, which I think is very impressive in this day and age. I kept saying, I did not want her to surpass what Camille did as champion. I have no problem with Kenzie Page winning the Women's World title another time down the road, but I don't think anyone should be able to beat what Camille did with that title. Rick, how was the match? And then we'll get Jaden and DK's opinion on the new champion.
This match was everything we had imagined it would be. It was a phenomenal match. Natalia McCarver was over like crazy. Kenzie was over like crazy as well in this area. There was a lot of question. Is NWA Billy actually going to take the plunge and just put the belt on her? It's got to be time. And if he doesn't, he's an idiot, right? That's all the conversation we've been talking over the last couple of weeks. And he actually did it. He made the smart move, and I think that was a very smart move, and people were really behind it. And it was awesome, dude. It was a great, great match.
Was it a good moment?
Yeah, I think so. I might have some video that I haven't gotten to yet because I'm kind of slowly getting through some of it. So, but this to me was definitely one of the highlights, one of my favorite moments of the actual evening.
DK, what did you think about the new champion?
The right person went over. It was past time for the title to change hands. I don't like that she even got as close as she did to Camille's title reign. But, yeah, it should have happened 6 months ago, but since it happened here, it was a good choice.
Jaden, do you have anything you want to add?
I do think it was about time. I wasn't initially a fan of Markova, but she grew on me. One thing I don't really watch the vignettes, so I really didn't notice this before, but I do watch the Hawk when he does his little YouTube thing because it entertains me. And there's a lot of close-ups of Markova, and she's got a lot of scars on her face. I think that's where that stupid hardcore stuff that she does sometimes.
Yeah,
I think that holds against her marketability because there's a lot you could definitely see when they do those close-ups that the makeup doesn't cover them.
Where does she do that? Where does she do that stuff?
She's done it before. She did it in the 76. She had a stupid bloody match. And she gets blood all the time and some stupid reason loves to get weapons matches because weapons matches are for people that can't wrestle. And at least Markova, I've seen her wrestle. I'm glad she won. I'm glad it wasn't a stupid hardcore match. I'm glad it wasn't so stupid Billy Corgan 20,000 rules, some match that didn't need to happen or some stipulation that needed to happen. Now she just needs some big wins. Maybe another win over Kenzie, win over Kylie. I'm tired of that match. Wins over other wrestlers to solidify her reign. It doesn't have to be a long reign, but it should be a very impact and high impact and championship laden one where she gets lots of defenses in because she's got the talent. Now she needs to show everybody that she deserves to be champ.
That takes us to the next match, which is a street fight. Max the Impaler.
Yeah.
Taking on Nihan. Also known as Gigante Nihan from World Wrestling Council Puerto Rico, who is a legit giant. I think he's about, I was looking like he's like 6'8", 6'9". Much bigger than most of the guys that typically wrestle for the NWA. 6'8", 330 pounds. No story, at least on the surface of this matchup and why it happened. Rick, did they give you any bits and nuggets while we were there?
Nope. I had no idea who he was when he came out. First time I had ever seen him. And then Max came out, and I was like, I really, this did nothing for me at all. Yeah. I don't think the crowd was into it either. I just wasn't. I couldn't do it because it just, I'm not a fan of watching Max matches. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's supposed to be a street fight, and yeah, I just use this as a bathroom match. Sorry.
The thing about Max the Impaler, and Max took the loss here to Nihan the Giant, which I don't know. Maybe that means there'll be some crossover with World Wrestling Council. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But whatever was magical and special about Max the Impaler when they came to the NWA and dominated the women's division and somehow managed to become dual television champions has all but been extinguished. There's nothing exciting about Max the Impaler anymore. There's nothing mythical, magical, anything that's special about them as a wrestler. Now they're just a regular person on the roster. They haven't looked undefeated in quite some time. They lost the men's television championship to Carson Drake. They surrendered the women's championship so that they could challenge Kenzie for the world title, and failed.
Right.
Max the Impaler has any value that Max had in the NWA is gone. Max needs to go back to Japan and continue to wrestle in the Japanese Joshi promotions because Max in the NWA is nothing. It's boring. It's so stupid how they destroyed whatever credibility and value that Max brought to the table when Max came to the NWA. It's gone. It's diminished. Agree, disagree?
No, 100%, because they were really pushing them hard when they first came in.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh, we have a spot to fill. Max is available type of a thing. You know what I mean? Because they're not doing any kind of storyline based anything whatsoever. It's just they're a part of the roster and they need to have some, they have a match to fill. And it's kind of ridiculous. But I mean, a lot of times, if you look back at wrestling as a whole, people have a pretty decent career for a certain promotion. And then next time it's just, they turn into a kind of like a jobber over the years. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of what it seems like it's happening with Max and the NWA. But I feel like there's a lot of potential still there. Sorry, Jay. I feel like there's still a lot of potential because they're still relatively young and have a long future of their career ahead of them.
Andre the Giant never needed the World Heavyweight Championship to be over. He never needed that title to be an attraction. However, the NWA felt like Max needed a championship to be over. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was a huge mistake because anytime Max won a title, that meant eventually Max had to lose the title. They never needed to put a championship on Max. And they did it twice, and both times it just hurt the mystique that was Max. So right now, Max should go back to Japan. Max should be done in the NWA for a while. But then, with that being said, Max is on the poster for Saul Wynn, so go figure.
They might do pretty well going to somewhere like Impact.
Yeah,
I mean, and if they want to continue in the United States, you know what I'm saying? I don't think WWE would ever sign them. I don't think AEW, maybe AEW, I don't know. I mean, but I think that they would have a pretty good run, say, for something like Impact.
Look, and I still feel like there could have been value with Max, but I think at this point, the NWA has wasted all the goodwill. There's nothing there. There's nothing to build off. There's no, to have a good soup, you need a bone with some meat on it. There is no meat on the bone. They stripped it.
Here's my opinion. I'm blaming Effie. Because I 100% still say the only reason Max was pushed. But first of all, it's a perfect example of people thinking that if you put a title on somebody, you're pushing them. No. That just means you don't understand how to use your belts. Second, I 100% am saying that the only reason Max was any champion is because, especially the men's TV, is because Effie called out Billy Corgan and basically said he was not a ally in less proper terms. And Billy's like, oh, I'll show him. And that's why I think Max was the champion. There was no real long-term storyline planned for it. It didn't need to happen. It diminished Max. It diminished the championships. And it's proof now that Max has just been losing. Well, when was the last time Max won? Max lost to this person. Max lost to Mims. Max lost to Frank. Max lost to Kenzie. Max lost to everybody. Honestly, Max is just better off right now finding somewhere else to be. Go on a new hold. When Max wants to, there'll be another booker. If Max ever wants to return. Or maybe Billy Corgan will instead fire himself because he starts playing the bass. Next. DK, do you care?
The dead horse has been beaten.
All right, good. Then let's get to it. Next up, we have at the 77, the World Tag Team title match. The Immortals, Kratos and Odinson, finally grab the golden brass circle ring, whatever. They defeat Murdochs for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. This was long overdue. This becomes Kratos' second NWA World NWA World Tag Team Championship. Kratos and Odinson are also former U.S. Tag Team champions. First time Odinson has won gold in the NWA, and it puts an end to the Knox and Murdoch run as tag team champions, who were tag team champions for quite some time. I believe they held the titles for, I just looked it up right now, 441 days. So just over a lot more than a year. But this creates, like Sean Mega says, frees some space up for Murdoch versus Silas Mason.
Not a bad idea.
I don't hate that. I just feel like Murdoch's was getting stale. And again, I'm going to go back to the point that I was making with Kenzie Page. Murdoch's can go back and win those tag titles again. I don't have a problem with that. I don't need it right away, but I don't care if they're 2-time champions or 3-time champions or 10-time tag team champions. They are very credible in that division. However, it's unrealistic to think that they're unbeatable. Nobody on this roster is unbeatable.
Right.
So congratulations to Kratos and Odinson. I hope they have a very successful run as the tag team champions. And I'm curious as to see what happens next for Murdoch's. But Rick, you were there in person. Tell me, what were your thoughts on this match?
I love this match. The fact that, every time, mind you, it's getting late by this time. And I'm like, how many more matches are there? Kyle actually had to come out and be like, we only have 2 more matches, before this match. And to let everybody know, because everybody's getting tired, people started to walk out. Sure. And I was like, oh, thank God. And I kept forgetting. I'm like, who else is there that has to come out besides the main event? Because I'm getting tired myself and I still have a long drive. But this match, I love this match. It was great. I love Kratos and Odinson. I've been a fan of both during their different incarnations in the NWA with their various partners. Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch, I've always, since they've been together, I've been digging them a whole lot. You put these two together, these two teams, man, it was nice, good, hard-hitting matchup, and I wasn't entirely sure if that there was going to be a tag title change here, but then there was, and the crowd absolutely loved it, to be honest with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
glad
great.
that they got that reaction. Jaden, thoughts on the new tag team champions?
I like the fact that a Crockett Cup winner won the tag championships because it doesn't happen often. I like the fact that Kratos and Odinson are the first U.S. tag team champions to win the World Tag Team Championships. I like Murdoch, as I even coined the name, but I do think they need to go separate ways and do other things because the tag team is just kind of lost because it wasn't like there was a whole plethora of new challengers for them. At least now this freshens up the tag team division. I also saw pictures of Kratos online right before this, and he got himself in amazing shape, it looks like. So I like that fact. I just wish, only thing I really wish is Odinson would stop eating those powdered sugar poppets before he goes out there. But other than that, I'm happy. And I think they could make good champions. And now they have challengers that are on the line to try to build up. They need good, strong. Every tag team in the NWA should be calling out the new tag team champions. And everybody who's anybody in the tag team division should be trying to get shots and saying they want those tag belts, because that's going to help get the new champions over, and that's going to help to get the championships over, and that's what's going to help to get challengers over. So that's what needs to be done right now, and I don't think the NWA is going to do that. TK?
You're muted.
Yeah, okay. I was glad this was the title match, because I certainly thought this is what deserved to be the title match versus the idiotic one they had originally announced. 2, I was glad the titles changed hands. The only reason I would have wanted Murdoch's to go longer as champions is to break the record held by the Skullcrushers. Since they didn't even tag for the last, 14, 15 months of their title reign.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm probably most excited about seeing on TV, just when it comes to the idea of a hoss fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I see this being the type of match that I really enjoy, 4 big men beating the crap out of each other. So don't tell me if that's not the case, Rick. let me dream until then. Yeah, so they did the right thing. I'm not really worried about tag teams at this particular moment, so let's go on to the main event.
All right, so the main event now. Rick, you did send me a video clip,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to get your permission to air it here on.
You never have to ask. Stop asking ridiculous
Well,
questions.
these video clips are courtesy of Rick Del Santo and Pro Wrestling Wire.
So
Give credit.
Yeah, you
again,
don't have
Rick,
to ask me, Jason.
Well, because again, I wasn't sure if this was just for my eyes only, but
No.
we have a new world's heavyweight champion, Tom Latimer. I feel like Tom Latimer was a great world's heavyweight champion, held that title proudly for over a year. I think he held it 350 days total.
Just under a year.
Yeah, just under a year, excuse me. Did a great job representing the National Wrestling Alliance, took the title to countries foreign and domestic, places foreign and domestic. Was a big staple part of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling that showcased the 10 pounds of gold. Again, I don't know that anyone else would have gotten that same opportunity than Tom Latimer, but I am very proud to announce that the new world's heavyweight champion is the Thrillbilly Silas Mason, and courtesy of Pro Wrestling Wire, we have this clip to show you. Did your son freak out when you said "holy shit" twice and said "yeah"?
He was playing Minecraft on his phone.
He had no clue. He didn't care.
No, he did not care. I mean, the dude behind me started laughing at me. So I literally, I don't pop off him, but I really did pop. like it was just so unexpected, and it was a great match. I mean, if you know how similar, NWA should put this on TV very soon. Very, 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 very soon. Because when 76 happened and the title change, it was on TV, I think, the next week or the week after, if I remember correctly. That's exactly what they should do here, because it's not like they should be like, oh, Tom is still your champion 8 weeks later, 8 weeks after, because they're still working on Crockett Cup footage. So that's just my opinion on it. I thought this was a phenomenal match. A great professional wrestling match. I don't know if anybody saw it today. I uploaded it to YouTube Shorts today. That there was a great stare down before the match as Tom was entering the ring, and I had posted that. And it just built the intensity. And Silas, I wish I pulled my phone out to get more pictures because I was ready to walk at that time. Silas literally went into the crowd with the belt, raising it up, and the crowds were going crazy surrounding him as he's walking through the crowd, standing on the chairs and stuff like that. They were really, really, really into it.
And the thing that I think is going to be interesting is, the Southern Six has always been kind of a tweener group. I mean, they act heel, but some places they get pops. Silas Mason always gets a pop. Mm-hmm. Is he going to be a baby face going into this run as world champion, or are we going to see a heel Thrillbilly Silas Mason? Is he going to stay the same guy he was before he won the belt? It'll be interesting to see. With that being said, after Rick has told us what he thought about the match, and we literally heard it from his words, from his mouth live, DCam, what do you think about Silas Mason as your world's heavyweight champion?
I think it's very important to point out that Silas Mason is the first person under the Lightning One era to be given the title, who's basically a homegrown talent. Nick Aldis, of course, had a history with TNA, Global Force. He was known because TNA was still had more people watching when he was there. Then you had, Cody Rhodes, back to Aldis.
Trevor Murdoch.
Trevor Murdoch, who'd been in WWE and was known.
Matt Cardona,
who they put the title on way too freaking fast because he had been in WWE and was known. Back to Murdoch.
Tyrus the Virus.
I try to blot Tyrus out of my mind, but thank you for bringing him back up. But
he blocks the sun,
He's
so
never NWA champion, in my eyes.
Yeah, but again, somebody known from WWE, even TNA,
Star Wars, Land of Small Moon.
Yeah, exactly. Jabba the Hutt, whatever. And then on to EC3. Vladimir was closer. He came from Impact, TNA, whatever it was called at that time.
Sure.
But he never won the top title there. So he was like, in that way, he was kind of unique. But Silas, who knows who Silas Mason is unless you're following the NWA?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we have. We have a guy that knows how to talk. He has a look. He has skill in the ring. He has skill on the mic.
He has a mullet.
He has a mullet. What more could you ask for? He's somebody who, let's be honest. I didn't like him when he first came on.
I did.
Liar. I didn't like him when he first came out. I certainly didn't like him with Pollo. That was stupid. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. But then he wrestled Davey Richards. I said, wait a minute here. Might have lost, but he was the bigger guy coming, he was the more over guy coming out of that match. And then he and Pollo gelled in a way that you wouldn't think possible. And they got out there. And they don't let him talk enough in the NWA, which I find weird.
Except in stupid skits.
Even beforehand, he did some, but they would go through periods of letting him talk, but not. I didn't really know he could talk until he was on one of those, morning shows on a local station. And it's like, holy shit, can you hear this guy? He had everything about him that just said star. And, and I want to be very careful in saying this because I know everyone's going to misconstrue it. But when Jay's asking, is he a twin or is he a face? Is he a whatever? Silas Mason, you let Silas Mason be Silas Mason, be the Thrillbilly, and he'll kind of be like Steve Austin. He'll be that badass who fans are going to like if you just let him be himself. The guy that came on this podcast, and thank his, Lord and Savior, Terry Funk. This guy has everything that's needed to be a star. Whether anybody else in the wrestling world picks up on it or not, I don't know. They damn sure should. But the NWA's got something now. Don't fuck it up.
Now you're asking too much.
You're asking a lot.
We know that's not going to happen. But
we're asking a lot for somebody to not fuck up something like that, especially Billy fuck-ups.
Billy's put out 4 straight weeks of OK TV, put out a far too long show, but it sounds like there was a lot of good matches and a lot of good action that, maybe will translate well on TV. So, and I've seen the results from the from the TV taping that takes place in between, and it sounds like things were set up rather well for it.
Okay.
So, man, you've given him the belt. Let Silas be Silas.
All right, we're getting close to running out of time for the
I
night.
don't get an opinion.
Oh, I'm about to say,
Never.
let Jaden close out the show here with his opinion on this. We're going to have to talk about Tom Latimer next week and what's next for him. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of ideas what we would do for Tom Latimer next week. And we'll get back to covering Power again last week. This week's Power was fine. It was a good episode, but I felt like the covering of the 77th anniversary show was a little bit more important. So we're doing that. But now Jaden's going to close out with his thoughts on Tom, on the match, on the title, and what's next for Thrillbilly.
Here's the thing. I'm happy as hell he won. I just didn't expect it. I'm happy as hell he won. Now, somebody clip this and send it to Silas, please. You have an opportunity that others did not take advantage of since Nick Aldis. Cody Rhodes, none of the wrestlers have taken advantage of this. This is your shot to use this platform to make yourself and the NWA and the NWA World Heavyweight Championship the absolute pinnacle of the business. Right now, you need to not rely on Billy Corgan or the NWA or their social media or anything they do. You need to take this bull by the balls and drag it around the yard, because this is your shot to be the biggest, baddest, most amazing mofo this company and the wrestling scene. I know you have the ability to be a star. Everybody here is a fan of yours. We all know what you have. The problem is nobody else does. And I can cheerlead. I'm not the biggest NWA cheerleader out of the four of us. I'm the one that's got the most disdain for the current NWA. I had to be dragged to the 77th or whatever it was, 76th, and I had to be dragged to the Crockett Cup only. And I went to see friends. That's why I went. I enjoyed myself, but I went to see. This is your shot now to carry this company on your back, to carry professional wrestling on your back, and your shot to make a name for yourself. You got a spotlight now. You need to hire a social media manager. You need it. I see your social media. I follow it. It doesn't do a good job. You need to get there and defend this championship anywhere that you can. Right now, it's not about the cost of money. As long as you're making money and not losing it, this is your shot to sell t-shirts. This is your shot to make a name for yourself. So you need to be out there wrestling anybody and everybody you can. Again, clip this and send it to them. You need to be out there. Get yourself a social media manager. Get yourself on Instagram. Get yourself on YouTube. Get yourself on TikTok. Get yourself on Blue Sky. Get yourself on Bumble. Get yourself, I don't care. Get yourself on Pornhub. Get it everywhere. And get yourself out there so they know. Everybody needs to know now what we already know. Because the NWA does not do a good job at making stars. You need to make yourself. You have this ball, and I need you to run back and forth, making touchdown in each side of the damn court. I need you to shoot skulls in both sides of the net. I need you to slam dunk in both sides of the basketball. I need you to hit home run and then go out and catch your own damn home run. That's what I need you to do right now. And this is what you can do. This is your shot to be a major, major impact player, not just in the NWA, but in professional wrestling. This is your future paycheck. This is any company that wants to sign you now. This is their chance to see you. This is your shot to become a bigger star, whether you stay with the NWA or sign with the WWE. This is your shot. So again, get yourself a social media manager and get yourself out there on everything. Every single day, there needs to be Thrillbilly Silas Mason stuff. You need to get yourself on podcasts. You need to get yourself on big shows. Go call Ohio Valley Wrestling right now. Get yourself on Ohio Valley Wrestling. Go find Booker T's promotion. Get yourself there. Call Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. It'll piss Billy off. I don't care. Show up there. Show up on anywhere. And I don't mean GCW, but I mean anywhere that really can get you out there and noticed. Get yourself on Maple Leaf Wrestling. Get yourself in Japan. Call the All Japan Pro Wrestling or NOAH or something, and get yourself there. Ask Latimer how to get yourself in England, in Europe. Get yourself there. Get yourself in South America. Get yourself on everybody and wrestle every big star, and then tell Billy they let you book your own damn shit, or at least have somebody who knows what they're doing do it, and get yourself matches against Murdoch, against Cardona, against EC3, against Latimer, against anybody who is a former world heavyweight champion in any promotion, TNA, AEW, ECW, WWE. Get yourself out there. Get yourself associated with legends. Have yourself pictures taken. Get yourself kissing babies. Get yourself throwing midgets out the window. I don't care what you have to do. Get yourself over and do it now, because this is your shot, and this is your shot to be the man. You are now the ability to be the Ric Flair of modern NWA, and you better as hell take advantage of it, because if not, you're wasting your opportunity.
Couldn't say it better myself. For Jaden, for DKM, for the Professor Rick Del Santo, we will be back next Thursday to talk NWA, and until then, we will see you at the matches.
Thanks for checking out the pre-party, a presentation of... Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. for NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.